Hi everyone, and welcome to Sunflower Yoga Works. In today's core flow, we will focus on the upper back and shoulders, in addition to, of course, the core. We will start in a seated position, so go ahead and make your way there, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so as you find a nice tall seat on your mat, go ahead and bring the legs to a comfortable position. They can be folded, they can be lengthened, whatever feels good. We're just going to start by taking a few deep breaths on the mat. You're welcome to close your eyes here if that's comfortable. Engaging the belly so that you're sitting with a nice tall spine. Try to pull the shoulders down away from your ears. Start to take some deep inhales and exhales here, feeling the breath come in through the nose, and then exhaling through the mouth, letting all the tension of the body go as you release your air. And after you've taken a few of these cleansing breaths, you can start to transition to a breath that goes in and out through the nose, keeping the mouth gently closed, but continuing to maintain the attention on the breath, consistently deepening your inhales and exhales. Gently open the eyes if you have them closed. We're going to continue to move with the rhythm of the breath here, inhaling as we bring the arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring the right arm forward, left arm back. Take a gentle twist. Inhale back through center. And exhale as we switch. And we'll continue to just do this gentle side to side motion. Careful not to overstretch here. No need to force the body into anything uncomfortable, but just starting to awaken the upper body here. Allowing the head to follow the movement of the body. So as you reach over to the left side, the head goes over your left shoulder, and vice versa here. Let's go ahead and take one more on each side, evening out the right and left. On the next inhale, bring the arms up through the center, and exhale, pull the hands through the heart. Inhale, back up overhead. And exhale, release to the sides. And we're gonna do that 3 more times here. Inhale up. Exhale through center. Inhale up. Exhale to the side. 2 more, get the blood flowing. Inhale up. Exhale, center. Inhale up. Exhale, side. Last round. If you're getting lightheaded, you're doing it right. Inhale up. Exhale, center. Inhale up. Exhale, release the arms by the sides and just take a relaxed breath here. Maybe close the eyes again. Feeling those deep breaths move throughout the body. And then gently reopening the eyes. We'll transition into a bit of core work here. I'm going to turn so that you can see. Planting your feet down on the ground in front of you, find this modified boat position. Using the hands on the outsides of your knees here, we'll take a seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, pull your chest toward your knees, start to bring the gaze up. And then exhale, round through the spine, bring the chin to the chest, roll back on the tailbone. Inhaling once again through cow pose. And exhaling through cat, taking a few breath cycles here at your own pace, sort of wringing out the spine, using the abdominal muscles on the cat pose as you round through the spine, hug that belly button in toward your lower back. And at the end of your next round of breath, go ahead and come back to this seated position, your modified boat pose. Make sure that the feet are about hips distance apart here, and we're gonna move into some alligator crunches. If you haven't done these with me before, they're super fun. We are gonna bring the hands, palms together out in front of the chest. This is our alligator tail, supposedly. And we're gonna take a nice inhale in our seated position, long spine. And then on the exhale, I want you to hinge back halfway, keeping your long spine. Take a big inhale. Exhale, round through the spine and hold. Take a big inhale. Exhale, roll all the way down to the back. Inhale as the arms reach overhead. And exhale, come all the way back up to seated. And we're gonna start that all over again. So inhale in seated. Exhale, hinge with a long spine. Inhale as we hold. Exhale to round. Inhale as we hold. Exhale, roll all the way down. Inhale as the arms come up overhead. And exhale, come all the way back up. We'll do 2 more. You're welcome to move at your own pace here. Inhaling at the top. And exhale as we hinge. Inhale to hold. And exhale to round. Inhale to hold. Exhale, come all the way down to the back. Inhaling with the arms up overhead. And exhale back to seated. Good. Last round here. We inhale at the top. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, hold. Exhale, round. Inhale, hold. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale all the way back up to seated for our last one. Nice job, everybody. Good. Go ahead and take your grip behind your knees now. We are going to move into a standing position. We're going to borrow from Pilates to get there, taking roll like the ball. So we're rolling the full length of the spine on the mat. Having some fun with this, taking a few rolls all the way back and all the way up. And then eventually at some brave moment, seeing if you can plant your feet, lift to standing without your hands. And I will meet you at the top of your mat in a mountain pose. As you're ready, we'll keep warming through the body here with some sun salutations. So find your nice tall mountain pose, hug that belly button in, abdominals are engaged. Slight bend in the knees as we tuck the tailbone, stacking the shoulders directly over the hips. Chin is level to the floor. On your inhale, reach the arms up overhead with lots of energy. And exhale, fold forwards, keeping as much bend in the knees here as you need. This is our first forward fold, so you can be gentle. On your inhale, lift the spine halfway, find a flat back. And then exhale, fold, bend the knees to plant the hands and step back to your plank pose of choice, either with the knees lifted or down on the mat if you prefer. Take a big inhale wherever you are, and we'll exhale through chaturanga as we hug the elbows in by the ribcage. Inhaling as we lift the chest and shoulders, up dog or cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a nice cleansing breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale the gaze between the hands, step the feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. On the inhale, lift the spine halfway, find your flat back. Exhale through fold as we bend the knees, rolling to stand, arms overhead, big inhale. And exhale, hands through heart center. One more full round, just like that. Big inhale, arms come up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. And exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, and move through your vinyasa here. I will meet you in downward facing dog. As you come to down dog, take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, let it go. Inhale the gaze between the hands, step or hop to the top of the mat, finding your forward fold. Inhaling to lift halfway when you get there, long spine. Exhaling as we fold, bend the knees and roll to stand. Arms overhead at the top, big inhale. And exhale the hands through heart center. I'm gonna let you flow on your own here. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog, taking your sun salutation to get there. And of course, you can watch the screen for guidance as you need, moving one breath per movement. As we meet in downward facing dog, we'll move into our first sequence, inhaling the right leg high for one-legged dog, and then exhaling the right knee to the right elbow in a plank. Hug that belly button in. Inhale, extend it up. Exhale, pull the right knee to center. See if you can kiss the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee to left elbow across the body. Hug it in. Inhale, extend last time. And exhale, plant the right foot in between the hands, finding your runner's lunge position. From here, plant your left hand down in the center, lift the right arm high for a dragonfly twist. And we're gonna add in some shoulder circles to our twist here. So go ahead and reach your arms straight back behind you, circling all the way down toward the mat, out to the front, and back toward the sky. And we'll take 2 more circles in this direction. Lots of energy in the fingertips, full range of motion here. As you finish your third circle, go ahead and switch, starting by reaching toward the front of your space and then around to the back. Once you've evened out your sides with 3 circles each way, go ahead and bring that right hand back down to the ground and then plant your back knee, untucking the toes as we move into a split prep. So send your hips back behind you, start to lengthen your right leg out in front. Weight is down on either side of the leg here, using the fingertips for support. We're gonna take a moving breath as we start to lengthen through this right hamstring. So on your inhale, really hug the belly button in, lengthen the collarbones forward. And then exhale, roll the spine down as much as you can. Let the weight of the head release. And we'll take a few more breaths just like that. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release it forward. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. Really flex those right toes. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold forwards. Nice work. Bringing the weight back into the right leg now, coming through a lunge position. Go ahead and plant your back heel, coming all the way up into a warrior 2 position. We're gonna take a different variation on our moving warrior today. So on your inhale, I want you to lengthen the legs, bring the arms overhead. And this time as you exhale, bend into the right knee and pull the hands to heart center. On your inhale, lengthen, arms come up. And exhale into your traditional warrior 2. And we'll take a few more arm circles just like that. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, warrior 2. Good, let's do one more full round. Inhale up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale up. And exhale for warrior 2. On the inhale, bring the right arm high for reverse warrior. And then exhale, both hands down to the mat, either side of the front foot. Moving through a vinyasa here as you send the right foot back to meet the left in a plank. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. As you come to down dog, take a cleansing breath here. You're welcome to lower down to a child's pose for a moment if you want to give the wrists a break. Taking a few breaths here in the middle as we prepare to move onto our second side with our sequence. Starting to make your way back to downward facing dog. If you're not there already, we'll find this triangle shape in the body. And on the inhale, lift the left leg high for one-legged dog. Exhale, pull the left knee to left elbow in a plank. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee to center, kiss the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee to right elbow, across the body, hug it in. Inhale, extend, last time. And exhale, plant that left foot in between the hands, finding your runner's lunge position. Go ahead and take your right hand down in the center, lift that left arm high for dragonfly twist, and we'll take some arm circles here as we reach those left fingertips toward the back of our space, circling around to the front and all the way back up. Moving nice and slow here, working for a full range of motion in the shoulder. And as you complete 3 rounds in that direction, go ahead and switch so that you're reaching forward first and then around to the back. Nice work. Slowly releasing the left hand back down to the mat, so both hands are on the mat. Take your back knee down to the mat, and then start to sit your hips back toward your right heel as we come into our split prep. So using your hands down on either side for balance, we'll take a moving breath in this hamstring stretch on the left side. So inhale as you start to lengthen through the spine, pull the collarbones forward. Exhale, let the weight of the head release down, rolling the spine toward the leg. Inhale as we lengthen. And exhale as we release. Try to keep the left toes flexed. 3 more rounds here. Last breath. And then slowly bring the weight back into that left leg, finding your lunge. Plant the back heel down and lift through the upper body, finding your warrior 2 position on the left side. And we'll once again take this variation on a moving warrior. So inhaling as we lift and the arms come up overhead. Exhale the hands through heart center as you bend into that left knee. Inhale, lengthen it up. And exhale into your traditional warrior 2. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale to warrior 2. We'll take that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale up. And exhale, warrior 2. Last time, inhale up. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, warrior 2. Good. On the inhale, take the left arm high for reverse warrior. And then exhale the hands down on either side of the front foot, moving through your vinyasa here as we send the left foot back to meet the right, meeting in our downward facing dog. From here, go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet, finding a forward fold at the back edge of your space. Once you're there, bring the feet a little bit wider so that they're about hips distance apart. And then grab for opposite elbows as you let the weight of the body hang down in this ragdoll pose, taking a sway from side to side if that's comfortable. Really letting the weight of the body hang down for a few breaths here. Gently releasing the grip of the elbows, we'll bend the knees as we roll to stand, keeping the arms down by the sides when you get there. And as you come to stand, feel free to shake it out a little bit, grab a sip of water if you need. We are going to do that same sequence 1 more time on each side. It'll be a little bit different variation the second time through. So just preparing the mind and body for that. We'll meet back at the top of the mat when you're ready. Take your time. we're ready to jump back in, we'll once again find our mountain pose at the top of our space. Broadening through the collarbones, pull the shoulder blades down. On the inhale, bring the arms up overhead, big reach. And exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift halfway, find your flat back. And exhale to fold. Moving through your vinyasa, I will meet you in downward facing dog. Once you are in down dog, we'll inhale the right leg high, this time bending the knee to open the hip, keeping that right foot nice and flexed and working to press down evenly through both hands here. So you're feeling a twist through the torso, stretching through the front of that right leg. Take one more big inhale here. On the exhale, pull the right leg through the center. Plant the foot in between the hands. And we'll once again come through our dragonfly twist as we reach that right arm high. Take a few arm circles here in one direction. And then after 3 circles that way, go ahead and switch. Returning to your dragonfly twist position. Keep your twist here in the upper body as you bring the back knee down, untucking the toes. Take your right fingertips and reach them straight back behind you, either staying here, engaging through the arm, or maybe going for a bind with your left foot, seeing if you can bend that left knee, kick the heel in, and catch the toes behind you. Wherever you are, try to bring your gaze out over your right shoulder. Nice work. Release the grip of the foot. If you have it, we'll transition into our split prep here, sending the hips back toward the left heel, lengthening out through that right leg. And this time, I'm just gonna leave you to whatever feels good here, so you can take your moving breaths again, inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to fold. If you wanna take a deeper stretch here, you have the option to come all the way down onto your back heel in this half hero pose. And then if you get that far, you can fold out over the front leg. So whatever feels good here for the next 5 breaths or so, saying hello to that right hamstring muscle, really flexing those right toes. And of course, remember to breathe. On the next exhale, send the weight forwards, returning to your lunge position. And we'll transition into warrior 2 as we plant that back heel, coming all the way up through the upper body. On the inhale, lengthen the legs, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, pull the hands through heart center. Use your head this time as we inhale, gaze up. And exhale, gaze out over the right hand. Inhale up. Exhale, gaze to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, gaze out over the right hand. We'll take one more round. Inhale up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale for your warrior 2. Nice work. On the inhale, go ahead and take your reverse warrior. Right arm comes high. And then as you exhale, come through warrior 2 and step this left foot in halfway. So we're shortening the stance as we prepare for pyramid pose. Turning all 10 toes back toward the top of your space. You have the option to either keep the hands on the hips, or if you want an extra shoulder stretch here, you can interlace the hands behind the back. Wherever you are, inhale to open through the chest. And then exhale, hinge forward over the front leg. As much as is comfortable here, working to lengthen through the legs in our pyramid pose. Eventually working to bring the forehead down to the right shin. And you can always release the hands to the mat if that feels more comfortable here. So use the hands where you need them. If you have the hands interlaced, see if you can drop the weight of the hands just a little bit further overhead, deepening that stretch through the shoulder. Try not to hold any tension in the head or neck here. Hug that belly button in for support. We'll take 3 more deep breaths. Gently release the hands to the mat if they're not there already. We're gonna launch forward here as we come into a standing split, lifting that left leg off the ground behind you. And this lift can be just a few inches off the ground, or it can start to lift toward 90 degrees, keeping both hip bones pointing down toward the mat here, flexing those left toes. You are welcome to stay here in your standing split position. If you want to play with a little bit more challenging balancing pose, maybe you're going to reach your right hand a little bit out toward the corner of your space and see if you can start to get rid of your left hand as you open the chest and shoulders toward your left side for half moon pose. Eventually, we're working to have the arms in a T, the left toes are flexed, and that left leg is parallel to the ground. Hug your belly button in for support. Maybe even seeing if you can get rid of your right fingertips. Take 1 more breath wherever you are. And when you're ready to move on, we're gonna step all the way back to a lunge from here. So send that left foot to the back edge of your space, moving through a vinyasa or coming right into downward facing dog if you would prefer. 1 breath per movement here. Reconnect the breath with the body. Good. Taking a few breaths to reset here, either in downward facing dog or coming through child's pose if you'd like. Preparing for our second and final side with our sequence here today. Noticing maybe how the body feels different on one side versus the other side. Making your way back to downward facing dog if you're not there already. On the inhale, lift the left leg high, bending the knee and opening the hip. Feeling that stretch go all the way through the front of the left leg as we keep those left toes nice and flexed. Pressing evenly into the mat with both hands here, twisting through the torso. Take 1 more big inhale, and then exhale that left foot through the center, planting the foot in between the hands. We'll take our dragonfly twist with the right hand down, left arm high, adding in some arm circles here, starting one way. And then after about 3 rounds, you can switch to the other direction here, just getting that full range of motion through the shoulder joint. As you even out your circles in both directions, we'll keep the twist in the upper body as we take the back knee down, uncurling the toes. Reach the left fingertips straight back behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, upper back is engaged. And you have the option to either stay here or maybe bend that right knee in. See if you can catch your right toes behind you in a quadricep stretch. Wherever you are, try to bring your gaze out over your left shoulder. Continuing to breathe here. 3 more breaths. Gently release the bind if you have it, transitioning to half split as we send the hips back toward the right heel and lengthen through the left leg. Again, we have some time for yogi's choice here, so if you like that moving breath, you can inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. Maybe you're gonna come into a half hero pose, sitting back on your back heel, maybe even hinging out over the left leg in a seated position. So whatever is gonna feel best for you here, keeping those left toes flexed, stretching through the left hamstring muscle. Remember to breathe. A few more breaths here. On your next exhale, send the weight forwards, coming through a lunge position. As we transition into warrior two, taking that back heel down, lift through the upper body. We'll take just a few arm circles here. Remember to use the head to your advantage. So inhale as you lengthen, bring the gaze up toward the hands. Exhale, bend the knee, bring the hands to the heart, gaze comes down. Inhale, lengthen, look up. And exhale into warrior two, gaze is out over your left hand. Let's do two more just like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, warrior two. Last time, inhale up. Exhale to center. Inhale up. And exhale, warrior two. On your inhale, lift the left arm high. Find your reverse warrior pose. And then exhale through warrior two, stepping that right foot in halfway, preparing for pyramid pose as we turn both sets of toes back toward the top of our space. Squaring off the hips here, you can either keep the hands on the hips or find that interlaced position behind the back if that felt good the first time through. Wherever you are, inhale as we open through the chest. And then exhale, hinge forward over the left leg, working to lengthen both legs as much as the hamstrings will allow today as we bring the weight of the head down. Eventually working to bring the forehead toward the left shin. Use that as your inspiration to really let the weight of the head release down. No tension in the head or neck here. Remember, you can always release the weight of the hands toward the mat if that will be more comfortable for you here. Really bringing the focus to the hamstrings, backs of the legs. If you do have the hands bound behind the back, give them some extra energy. See if you can reach just a little bit further. Deepen that stretch in the shoulder. And at the end of the next breath, just slowly release the hands back to the mat if they are not there already. We'll launch up into our standing split position as we step onto that left leg, lifting the right leg behind us. Could be just a few inches, could be working toward parallel with the ground here. Good, hips are square, toes are pointing down. You have your fingertips here for balance. And if you want to play a little bit, maybe you're going to throw in a half moon pose by reaching your left hand out a little bit further to the corner of your space. See if you can start to get rid of your right hand as you stack the hips, opening toward the right side. Eventually working to bring the arms to a T. That right leg is parallel to the ground, toes are flexed. Remember not to lock the knee that you're standing on. Hug that belly button in for support. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then we will step all the way back to a lunge position, moving through our final vinyasa for today's class as that left leg steps back to meet the right in a plank. Taking one breath per movement here. And as you come back to downward facing dog, go ahead and lower the knees, taking them wider than the hips, pulling the toes together. Sit the hips back toward the heels and reach the fingertips forward as we come into a child's pose for a few breaths. Working to release the forehead down to the mat here. Gently close the eyes. Noticing how after completing the sequence on the second side, hopefully the body is feeling a little more evened out. We're back to our equilibrium between the right and left. And if there are distinctions between how the sides feel, recognizing that, acknowledging that, and knowing that that's okay too. We're always going to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more tight, better at twisting, but not as good at lengthening, whatever it may be. Notice the differences, acknowledge them, and accept them here. At the end of your next breath, we'll start to make our way down onto the back, however is going to be easiest for you to get there. Moving nice and slow, listening to the body as you go. And as we come down onto the back, hug the knees into the chest. Give them a nice big squeeze here. Rocking from side to side just gently as we massage the lower back into the ground. We will end today with a few back bends, opening through the front side of the body. So I will be modeling a traditional bridge pose with the feet planted and the arms down by the sides. If you know that you have another back bend in your practice that you'd like to add in here, maybe a fish pose or a full wheel, you are welcome to throw that in instead. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and plant the feet to the mat. Lengthen the arms down on either side of the hips, repositioning as needed so that your heels are an even distance away from your glutes on both sides. Starting with a few moving bridges, inhale as the hips are down, and exhale, roll the tailbone off of the mat, reaching the hip bones toward the sky. Inhale, roll it back down. And exhale, lift. And taking a few of these moving bridges at your own pace. Working to engage the abdominals as you roll the spine up and down the mat. The next time that the hips are lifted into your bridge position, go ahead and stay there. We'll hold a static bridge pose for a few additional breaths here. Option to shimmy your shoulders a little further underneath you, interlacing the hands underneath the low spine. Getting a bigger range of motion here as we open through the front side of the body, pressing down through the heels as we lift the hip bones toward the sky. Take one more breath wherever you are. And as we release from our bridge pose, we will find a resting pose of choice, coming into our Shavasana for today's class. Turning the palms to face the ceiling and gently closing the eyes for a few final breaths here on the mat. at the end of your next breath, begin to bring some small movements back into the body. Gently making your way back to a seated position on the mat. No rush to get there. Finding a nice tall seated position on the mat, we will finish today's class with one final breath together, bringing the arms up overhead, big inhale. And exhale the hands through heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.